place is perfect for our new offices. The room upstairs is just as big. And it's cheap.
How come, do you think?
Didn't Tommy tell you? After he found you, he ran into the owner in the gay bar who confessed after a few beers his best friend is sick. Did you see us on TV picketing the mayor in all that rain?
Yeah.
How did we look?
All wet.
He's got 4 more hours to go. The letter we sent him threatened if he didn't see it by the end of today, it would escalate to civil disobedience. Mel's found this huge, straight black guy that trained with Martin Luther King. He's teaching us how to top the bridge and tunnel traffic. Well, don't worry, a bunch of us are doing this on our own.
Tommy got the call.
Tommy! Why didn't you say? When did they call?
This morning.
When's the meeting?
Tomorrow.
You see? It works. What time?
8 a.m.
Well, the mayor will get up especially early.
We can only bring 10 people. Here is orders.
Who's going?
Community Council sends 2, Network Force sends 2, TAS sends 2, we send 2 patients.
I'll pick you up at 7:30. We can share a cab.
You remember we elected Tommy Executive Director?
I'm going.
We can only bring 2.
Well, you just call Hiram back and tell him we're bringing 3.
The list of names has already been phoned in. It's too late.
So I'll just go. What are they gonna do? Throw me out? Already phoned in. Too late. Why is everything so final? And why is all this being done behind my back? Bruce, how dare you make this decision without consulting me?
Yeah.
I wrote that letter. I got 60 gay organizations to sign it. I organized the picketing when the mayor wouldn't respond. That meeting is mine. It's all happening because of me. It's taken me 21 months to arrange that meeting, and God's having I'm gonna go.
You are not the whole organization!
What does that mean? Well, why didn't Tommy tell me?
I told him not to.
You what?
I wanted to hold the board.
Behind my back? Why this conspiracy behind my back? I'm on the board, you didn't poll me. I'm going to that meeting representing this organization that I have spent every minute of my life fighting for, and that was started in my living room, or I quit.
I told him I didn't think he'd accept that decision.
You would let me quit. You didn't have to poll the board. If you wanted to take me, you'd take me. I embarrass you.
Yeah, you do. We're finally meeting the mayor, and we just feel now we have a chance to
A chance to kiss his ass.
We want to start working from the inside now that we have the contact.
It won't work. Did you get that meeting by kissing his ass? He is the one person most responsible for letting this epidemic get so out of control. If he'd responded with just 1 ounce of compassion when we tried to reach him, we'd have saved 2 years. Look at us now. We have over 500,000. The Times is finally writing about us. Why are you so willing to let me go when I've been so effective? When you need me most?
You're a bully. If the board disagrees with you, you always threaten to leave. You never listen to us. I can't work with you anymore.
And you're destroying this organization with your fear and your conservatism. The organization I promised everyone would fight for them isn't fighting at all.
You can't tell people how to live their lives.
Just drop that. The cases are still doubling after 6 months. Of course we have to tell people how to live their lives. There won't be anybody left. Did you ever consider it could get so bad they'd quarantine us or put us in camps?
It will not.
It's happened before. It's all happened before. History is worth shit. I swear to God, now I understand. Is this how so many people just walked into gas chambers? At least they identified themselves to each other and to the world.
You can't call people gay who don't want to be.
Bruce, when you're dead, it doesn't make any difference.
Board wanted me to read you this letter. We are circulating this letter widely among people of judgment and good sense in our community. We take this action to try and combat your damage, wrought so far as we can see by you having no scruples whatever. You are on a colossal ego trip which we must curtail. To manipulate fear as you have done repeatedly in your merchandising of this epidemic is to us the gesture of barbarism. To exploit the deaths of gay men as you have done in publications all over America is to us an act of inexcusable vandalism. And to attempt to justify your bursts of outrageous temper as part of what it means to be Jewish is past our comprehending. And after years of liberation, you have helped make sex dirty again for us, terrible and forbidden. We are more angry with you than we've ever been in our lives toward anyone. We think you want to lead us all. Well, we don't want you to. In accordance with our bylaws as drawn up by Weeks, Frankel, and Levenstein, Mr. Ned Weeks is hereby removed as the director. We beg that you leave us quietly and not destroy us in what we manage despite your disapproval. In closing, please know we always welcome your input, advice, and help.
I belong to a culture that includes Proust, Henry James, Tchaikovsky, Cole Porter, Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Ian Foster, Byron, Tennessee Williams. Those were not invisible men. Poor Bruce. Poor, frightened Bruce. Once upon a time, you had a dream of being a soldier. Did you know, Bruce? It was an openly gay Englishman who was responsible for any man for winning the Second World War. His name was Alan Turing. He cracked the Germans' Enigma code so the Allies knew in advance what the Nazis were going to do. And when the war was over, he committed suicide. He was so hounded for being gay. Why don't they teach any of that in schools, huh? If they did, maybe he wouldn't have killed himself. Maybe you wouldn't be so terrified of whom you are. The only way we'll have real pride is when we demand recognition of a culture that isn't just sexual. It's all there, all through history. We've been there. We have to claim it and identify who was in it and articulate in our minds and our hearts and all our creative forces to this earth. And until we do that, and until we organize ourselves block by city, by neighborhood, by state, into a united, visible community that fights back, we're doomed. Being defined by our cocks is literally killing us. Must we all be responsible for being our own murderers? Why couldn't you and I, Bruce Niles and Ned Weeks have been the leaders, created a new definition of what it means to be gay? Bruce, I blame myself as much as I blame you. I know I'm an asshole. Please, I beg you, don't shut me out.